Hiya and welcome back to the channel. We're back again today playing Roots of Pacha by Soda Den and Critivo, as well as another look at the Celtic Britain tribes. I have to say that this game, Roots of Pacha, is exactly what I wanted when I backed it on Kickstarter. If you're looking for a farming sim, but also one that's based on sort of relationships with people, I would say that this is a really good one. Back to the actual video at hand though, this time I thought we'd look at one of the tribes more in depth, and one of the more famous ones are the Iceni, so I thought it'd be a good place to start with those and then roll on to the other tribes later on. The Iceni were a Brittonic tribe of Eastern Britain during the Iron Age and the early Roman era. Their territory included present-day Norfolk and parts of Suffolk and Cambridgeshire, and they were also a monarchic society state, geographically separated from their western neighbours the Coriol Tawi by uninhabited fenland and marshland. They also had the Catualani and the Trinovantes to their south. In the Roman period, their capital was Venta Icenorum, at the modern-day Caister St. Edmund. Archaeological evidence of the Iceni include torques, which are heavy rings of gold, silver or electrum, that were worn around the neck and shoulders of an individual. The Iceni also began producing coins around 10 BC. Their coins were a distinctive adaptation of the Galo-Belgic face horse design, and in some early issues, mostly found around the Norwich area in Norfolk, the horse was actually replaced with a boar. Some coins are inscribed Iceni, making them the only coin producing group to use their tribal name on coins. The earliest personal name that we found to appear on coin is Antendeus, which is around 10 BC. We've also found other abbreviated names like Asu or Seimu, but we do not know a lot about these individuals, only the certain areas that they have been found in. In certain rural regions of Norfolk, it's thought that the Iceni farmers were impacted very little by civitas, which is a Roman social concept, which is a body of citizens united by law, and through this law binds them together as a society and gives them responsibilities. Because there is quite a lack of presence of coinage and treasures in this area, it's thought that the Roman impact hadn't spread that far. On the other hand though, we have found evidence of very coin-rich temple sites which were used nomadically as centres for periodic fairs, festivals, and also provided locations for markets and commercial transactions that they might not have necessarily have had in their more permanent tribal homes. Publius Cornelius Tacitus, simply known to the world as Tacitus, was a Roman historian and politician. He recorded much of what we know of the Celtic Britain tribes, and from these writings we know that the Iceni were not conquered in the Claudian invasion of AD 43, but actually come to a voluntary alliance with the Romans. They did, however, rise against them in 47 after the governor Publius Osterius Scapula threatened to disarm them. The Iceni were defeated by Osterius in a fierce battle at a fortified place, but they were also allowed to retain their independence. The site of this battle may have been the Stonia camp in Cambridgeshire. A second and more serious uprising took place in AD 61. Prasutagus, the wealthy pro-Roman Icenian king, had died. It was a common practice for a Roman client king, or those serving under the Roman Empire, to leave their kingdom to Rome on his death. But Prasutagus had attempted to preserve his line by bequeathing his kingdom jointly to the emperor, but also to his own daughters. The Romans ignored this, however, and the procurator Catus Decanius seized his entire estate. Prasutagus' widow wife, Boudica, was flogged and their daughters were sexually assaulted. At the same time, Roman financiers had come to call in on their loans, while the governor Gaius Suetonius Paulinius was also campaigning in Wales. Boudica had led the Iceni and the neighbouring Trinovantes in a large-scale revolt against Romans, destroying and looting Camulodunum, which is today's Colchester, Londinium, which was London, and Verulamium, St. Albans, before finally being defeated by Suetonius Paulinius and his legions. Although the Britons outnumbered the Romans greatly, they lacked the superior discipline and tactics that won the Romans a decisive victory. The battle had taken place at an unknown location, but most likely we believe it to be in the West Midlands. And that is as much as I'm going to say about this battle or Boudica's family for this video, since I plan on coming back and giving her her own personal video, which she rightly deserves as being one of the most iconic female historical figures in British history. I dare say there's very little people in the UK today who don't know who she is. Following the end of this battle, Venta Icenorum, which meant the market of the Iceni, was built on Icenian land around AD 70 as a centre of the region, or capital. The remaining Iceni tribe lived there on the edge of Roman Britain. Despite the fact the surviving Iceni tribe resigned to live there, relations between Britain and Rome remained tense, and they were not prepared for any sort of urban life that the Romans had brought. It's thought that the descendants of the Iceni survived longer in the fenlands and the marshlands around them, since famine had wiped out many people left in the area. Because the Iceni army had deprived the area of much of its agricultural produce, the local inhabitants had failed to plant, harvest or store up any supplies leading up to the winter and the year of the revolt. With this is pretty much the extent that we know about the Iceni as a tribal people. We know a little bit more about individuals like Boudica, but even then, not a great deal on their overall life or end of life. It was fun doing the research for this video though. I'm really looking forward to starting on the next slot, where I'll be looking at another Celtic tribe, possibly the Atrebates at this point. But thank you so much for joining me again here and for watching my videos. Please leave me a comment if there's something you'd like to share. Just have a general comment or any requests for historical videos. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I also have a Twitter page where I do 2-hourly historical facts based on the day that it's posted for different years. But other than that, I'll see everyone next time. Bye bye.